Good morning, everyone. Shane Laws here at Victory Electric. Just wanted to touch base with everybody out there regarding a status update on Victory's system. Clearly, we had a kind of a precedent-setting windstorm yesterday. I've been in the business 28 plus years. I've never seen that in my tenure. I know that we had sustained sustained winds of 60 plus miles an hour and wind gust as much as 84 to 88 miles an hour yesterday. First and foremost, thank you to the Victory members for your patience in bearing with us as we endured that again precedent-setting storm. I thought I wanted to explain briefly kind of our approach to how we handled and addressed the challenges with that storm, and then give you a bit of an update on where we are currently and in our plans going forward over the next day or two to try to fully restore service within our territory. So I know yesterday evening we saw, and in Victory System we're about a little over 20,000 meters, and we had approximately 10,000 meters off at one point. Now, one of the things that we did, knowing that we were going to have severe winds, we weren't sure how bad, but knew it was going to be bad. We have the ability within our engineering systems and department to make particular adjustments to settings on the system that can protect the system and protect the members out there on the lines. And specifically what I'm referring to is we decided to put our lines in what we call OneShot or NonReclose. Now, for those of you who are not in the business, essentially what that means is anytime there was a fault, so as those winds were whipping around and blowing lines, oftentimes you have lines that'll cross and make contact. And what we were concerned about is an extreme fire hazard. When those lines come in contact, it causes sparks with those areas out in the rural and even some places within the cities and towns where we live. There is dry grass and just tinder everywhere. And the main concern was that if the system operated like it normally does in a normal situation, which means it can operate several times to try to what we call clear the fault and try it at least 3 times to see if we can get the lines in the line back on. We didn't want that happening and it continuing to sit out there and spark and cause problems. So when we put it into OneShot or NonReclose, it's an instantaneous outage. And we knew that was how it was going to work. But the challenge is for you as members is having to endure those outages. Now, we would much rather folks endure what we consider a temporary outage. Now, I know temporary is a relative term. Sometimes when it's hours, that's not very temporary. But in the grand scheme of things and in the scope of things, when you talk about an outage like that relative to huge grass fires, wildfires, burn down structures, etc., that could be a much more sustained outage, weeks, if not months, depending upon the severity. So again, I want to thank you for your patience as we work through that. We have what's called a war room, and it's a SCADA system within that area that we have an entire wall that we can see the system at one time, live, real time as it's happening, and we can dispatch crews. Now, I will tell you, over half of our system off at any one particular time, and we had the bulk, and I'm saying all but about maybe 50 to 100 meters. We're still kind of assessing that this morning, but 50 to 100 meters, everything but those on, power restored by about 3 a.m. this morning. So it was a short night. It comes with the territory. It's just what we do. Not complaining, but I am thankful that given the severity of that windstorm, we had no one hurt. We had only one report of a grass fire within our system, so our plan operated exactly as we wanted it to. A small grass fire at a residence, and those folks were able to put it out with a water hose, with a garden hose. So it worked exactly as we wanted it to, and we had power restored virtually to the entire system by 3 a.m. this morning. I am also thankful, given the lack of visibility there's some lessons learned as far as, from a safety perspective, and maybe some operational changes that we might tweak to get better as a result of that. With guys out on the road and in trucks, with winds that gust at 84 to 88 miles an hour, we had to wait things out. Low visibility, guys couldn't see more than 10 feet in front of their vehicles, things like that. We dodged a couple of bullets from the standpoint of traffic and some challenges that we saw happen out there. But again, overall, our system performed what we would consider flawlessly, but we were dealing with, and that's in spite of trampolines, roofs that were torn off of buildings, broken poles, accidents, flipped over vehicles that contacted our lines, maybe have broken a pole or what have you. So it operated exactly like we wanted it to. And again, I'm proud to report everybody was safe. We're not aware of any member injuries or major issues aside from maybe us band-aiding and or temporary service to get the lights back on last night. Past that, we've been very fortunate. I know we've heard of reports throughout or around the state and or other states where wildfires happened, and that's exactly what we were trying to prevent. So if you could, please just continue to be patient, bear with us. Again, somewhere around 50 to 100 meters, we had to bring our guys back in about 3 a.m. this morning. We needed to give them some rest because we know that it's just going to be quite a bit of work going on over the next couple of days. We also have materials here. We're not concerned about being able to have the material to do all the work that's going to be required to get everything back like it was or better than it was prior to the storm, which is fantastic news. Again, a credit to our staff of being prepared prior to all this happening. But over the next couple of days, there's a lot of work going to be going on. So we had to bring our crews in to give them the necessary rest that they need, so we can ensure that their safety is paramount going forward and as we go through this restoration process. So we brought them in this morning, had everybody here at 7, provided breakfast and kind of a brief download of what we found last night. And as we were going all day long yesterday, we were recording, all of the areas that we identified problems as we had people out patrolling the lines and getting the services back on. And then we've prioritized those this morning. Unfortunately, there were a handful of members that had to remain off last night because of, again, the severity of the damage and what it was going to require to get that service restored. So for that, we apologize. We never like to leave anybody off, but some of those things are just unavoidable. But again, we've prioritized those this morning and are, actively getting that service restored and are looking forward to things getting back to normal. So, again, I can't express enough the appreciation from Victory to our members for your patience. We're trying our best to, live up to the standard that you expect from Victory and know that it's not lost on us. And we absolutely, we appreciate you and you're the reason why we're here is to keep the lights on and we work for you. So with that, again, thank you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us via Facebook or call in. If there's something that you're aware of that maybe we may not be aware of or have missed in the scope and of the storm restoration process, please let us know because we definitely want to make sure that we don't leave anybody out there hanging if we don't have to. If I don't, if we're missing the mark somewhere, please let us know and we're going to do our best to try to live up to the expectations. So with that, thank you so much. We appreciate your patience and look forward to seeing you. Take care.